Okay, students, coming to our today's class. In the first unit, we covered the introduction part for software engineering. What are the terminologies that are used in software engineering, right? And next part, we covered the basic traditional process models that are being used in software engineering development from decades ago. From the previous years, what are all the traditional or process models we are using? We saw all those traditional models. So I already told you, you can use any model for developing your software. Which model to use depends upon your application, depends upon your requirements, right? So every model has its advantage and disadvantage. So that is what we moved on to next models. So what model to use depends upon the requirements here. For suppose if you are having risky projects, I told you go for spiral model. If you are having more amount of time, if you are having enough budget, if you are having more amount of time enough, if all the requirements are given for you by the client in the beginning itself, then go for the basic waterfall model, right? If the client wants the working product, not the working product but the prototype to be shown to him in the beginning itself, then go for prototyping model. So any model you choose depends upon the depends upon your requirements, right? And coming to our agile development, now what is this agile development is? This agile is a word which is a buzzword in software industry nowadays, right? In different areas, we not only in software, generally also we use the terminology as agile for normal humans also. We say that human is agile. Now what does this agile means is, agile is flexibility. It is the capability to change. See, you are having one goal. You thought of going for a movie tomorrow. Someone gave you one movie tomorrow. Someone told you no, not that. This one is better. But then instantly you will change your plan and move on to some other. Okay, if not that movie, we'll go to this. If not this one, we'll do that work. If not that. So what is called as adapting new changes. So you are flexible enough such that you are able to adapt new changes. Whatever change is there, you are able to adapt it into yourself. The same in the case of software. If you have the flexibility to adapt new changes, then we call it as agile. So this is the buzzword which is used. This is the principles which, these are the principles which are used in all software industries while developing any software. So right now, coming to this agile. So this this agile gives, this is not a process model. See, previously we have different process models, basic traditional process models. If someone comes and give you a new process models, if someone comes and say you throw away all those old traditional process models and take my new one, no one will go and accept that one, right? No one will take the new one. Why? Because we have been using the traditional models, traditional framework activities from years ago. We are used to that one. And if a new person come and says me, no, don't have communication in the beginning as a traditional model tells you, do something else, plan in the beginning, or do this one in the beginning, do some other activity. So we can't change the entire thing overnight, right? So what this agile process tells you is, keep all those framework activities with you, do as per the framework activities, but apart from all those framework activities, this agile gives us some philosophy, some guidelines that should be followed while developing the model. It gives us some philosophies. So what this philosophy tells us is, uh, always it tells us that customer is the main person, right? The customer satisfaction is the main thing that everyone should keep in mind. That is the main philosophy it tells us. And another main philosophy is adaptable to changes. So any change the customer asks to make you, it should be adaptable. It should be easy to make that change within your software. So that is one philosophy this agile process tells us. And another thing that this agile process tells us is, always don't go for long-term plans. See, don't say that my goal is this one and after 10 years I'll do this one. My goal is to become a politician and after 10 years I'll go and I'll definitely become a politician. Don't go for long-term goals. Always go for a short-term goal. See, within this week, what you're supposed to do. Within this week, what is your task? By you have a goal that within this week of time, I'll complete this assignment. Within this week of time, I'll complete this subject to, I'll do this work within short goals, right? Short plans. So Agile always asks us to go for short-term goals. Don't go for long-term goals. Here, goals is nothing but plan. See, in while developing a software, what we did in second phase, we did planning, right? That planning will be followed until the end, until the deployment is done. The same plan is followed until the deployment is done. But what this agile tells us is, don't go for long-term plans. Always have a short-term plans. Right? You'll understand in later things. This is what the agile philosophy tells us is. And what the main agile guidelines tells us is, in the previous classes, I told that documentation is more important. Not only the executable code, not only the working product. Apart from the working product, documentation is also more important. This is what we told in all the previous classes while you are having traditional models. But what this agile tells us is, no, not the design, not the documentation. These are not important, but only the working software is more important. The executable code, the operational code which you are going to present, which you are going to give to the client is more important than the work that we are doing in all the phases. No, all the documentations, all these things are not that important when compared to executable code. This is what the agile tells us. So there is a lot of variation between the traditional philosophies and this agile philosophies. This agile philosophy always follows changes, always allows us to change accordingly. Don't stick on to the old things, always change for the new things. That is what the agile tells us is. And the agile team, they gave us a manifesto. So in this manifesto, you are having one statement of line. See this, what this statement is: we are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others to do it. What this agile team is telling us is, they are uncovering better ways of developing software. We have ways of developing the software by using traditional methods, but this agile is telling us some other better ways, some new better ways for developing the software. Okay, and it is also helping others to do it. Not only you are using those agile principles and developing your software, but also you are helping others also to develop the software in an effective way. This is the main principle manifesto of agile. This line is the manifesto of agile software development team, right? They do the work correctly by using better ways when compared to previous things, and also they help others to do the work betterly. That is what this manifesto tells us in a single statement. And see, in previous models, what we told is, process and tools are more important. Process contains activities, actions contain tasks. So process tells you what to develop, right? How to develop your software. So in the traditional models, we always told that process is more important and tools, automatic tools for developing your software are more important. This is what we told. But this agile, what it tells us is, individuals and interactions are more important over process and tools. So what this tells us is, individuals, every individual person who is involved in the development. If you are having 10 team members, every individual person by himself is a hero, is more important, and the interactions between all those individuals are more important when compared to traditional process way of developing the software and using the tools. And next one is, in the previous models, we told that comprehensive documentation is more important. Always you should maintain documents for all the phases. This is what we told, that documentation is more important, right? Now what this agile tells us is, not the documentation, but working software is more important over comprehensive documentation. Working software is your operational code, your executable code, the code which you are giving to your client. So that working software is more important than the documentation you are giving to the client. Why? Because if there is something running wrong in your code, while the user is using the code, running the code, if there is something wrong in the code, That itself matters, but not that while you are having some error, the user can't always go for the documentation part and see, no, where I'm running, where I'm doing wrong, where I'm done. So he'll not take all these, he'll not consider all these issues, right? He always sees whether the software that is given to him is running properly or not, it is effective or not. That is what he bothers, but he don't go for documentation part all the time. So agile principle is telling us that working software is more important than documentation. And in previous process models, we told that contract negotiation is more important. See, initially when the customer comes and tells you for some requirements, tells you to develop a project and gives his requirements, what we generally do is, maybe the customer might change in the later stages. So what we do is, we'll have a contract signed with the customer, right? That contract contains all the information what we are supposed to do as per the client told us. For suppose if you are developing a supermarket application for some client, you will have a plan, you will have a document that is signed initially. Document is nothing but a contract between you and a client. What this contract contains is, this is what the client asked me to develop. I'm going to develop all these features with this cost, with this within time. So whatever you're having an agreement, every that is signed, signed as signed and maintained in the form of a contract, right? Now, why are maintaining that contract is, in the later stages, when if a client comes and say that, no, I asked this one to you to develop, not that one, you did this one or that, there might be some differences, right? After some amount of time, then you will show that contract to that client and say that this is what you asked us to develop, this is what we did it to you, right? So this contract, you are having a cutoff, clear cutoff between you and client within by showing everything within a paper, right? Now what this agile tells us is, no, contract negotiation is not important, always customer collaboration is important. Don't go for contract negotiation, always involve the customer in every part. So in previous models, traditional models, what we did is, only in communication part we involve the customer. In the first phase, while you are having communication, then only we involve the customer. We gather the requirements from the customer, and after leaving that phase, when we go on to the planning phase, we don't have any contact with the customer there, right? Now, but what this agile tells us is, no, customer should be always involved in all the phases. That is what you are saying as customer collaboration, right? And the last one, the traditional models told us is, follow always a plan. See, in the second phase, we planned. In the second framework activity, we are having planning. There we planned everything and we prepared a document, know how to follow, how to proceed in the future, right? So everything that is done in the later stages is done according to the plan. If in a plan I'm having a route of go this way, then I should definitely go in that way only. And I can't change my mindset in the later stages. As per I have planned in the planning phase, I should develop the software accordingly only in previous traditional models. But whereas in agile model, what we tells us is, agile always asks us to respond to change. Leave the plans. Okay, you have planned. And also main thing is, in agile we'll be having only the small plans. I already told you, small term plans. So leave the plans. You should follow the plans, but if something new change occurs in the beginning, which is not expected, right? Initially we did not expect that this way change will be given by the client. So client gave us something, we have had our plan accordingly, but in the middle, suddenly a client came us and asked for new change. This we did not expect in the beginning while we are planning. No, then you can't say that, no, I'll not make your change. Why? Because I did not plan accordingly. You can't say this to him. What you need to do is, you should be able to adapt the change. You should be able to respond to the change at any point of time. So this is what the client tells us. This is what the agile process tells us. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing and helping others. So in the traditional models, we always ask the process and tools, but in agile we always tells us individuals and interactions. In traditional models we always tells documentation is important, but in agile we say that working product is more important. In traditional, we say that contract negotiation is more important, but in agile, we say that customer collaboration is more important. In traditional, we say that plan is more important, follow the plan only. But in agile, we say that responding to change is more important than going with a plan. Now coming to this agile introduction part for agility, as we already told you, agility means effective, rapid and adaptive response to change. Agility means effective, rapid and response to change. This is the main theme of agility, respond to change. Now how you are going to respond to changes, you will be using an effective method, a rapid method and adaptive method to respond to change. And the second thing in agility is effective communication among all stakeholders. So this is the main thing that agility follows. Always have a communication with the stakeholders, with the client. It can be either the major stakeholder or any person, any stakeholder, always have a communication with him. And third one is drawing the customer onto the team and organizing a team so that it is in control of work performed, eliminate the us and them attitude. So what it tells us is always involve the customer in our customer, right? When the developers are developing the product, always involve the customers. Don't have the behavior of us and them. These we are developers and they are clients, don't have this type of behavior. Always you always have a friendly nature, right? That is what the agile tells us is the agile process. See, this word is important, lightweight methods. Agile process uses lightweight methods. They are all people based rather than plan based. See, we are having traditional methods. Those are heavy in the sense, maybe you have a mobile that is purchased previously with some configuration, and the same mobile is released in next version with lightweight in the sense it not the weight that matters, but the same features are there within this also, but these will be easy to do when compared to the traditional one. And compared to using the previous mobile, which is difficult to handle, the same features are done in a simple way in the latest mobiles, right? So agility is mainly the lightweight. I can say that agility is software engineering that is light. Software engineering light. Apart from traditional software engineering light can be called as agility. So right. And next, the agile process forces the development team to focus on software itself rather than design and documentation. So this I already told you. Agile always asks us to focus on the software that is developed. The major work product, the major executable code, always asks us to focus on that area rather than design and documentation. Yes, design and documentation are useful. The agility don't ask us to leave all the things completely, but what it tells us is the main focus should always be on your software working software rather than design and documentation. And agile process also always believes iterative method. If you are given a product to develop, it will not take long term to develop by using agility. Why? Because we'll always have short terms and we are going to release that product in iterative fashion. No, not all the product completely is released at a single time, but different increments, by different increments we are going to release that product, right? So it always believes in iterative methods than the traditional single version methods. Organizing a team so that it is in control of work performed, rapid incremental delivery of the software. So these are all the things the agility includes. So this is the introduction part for agility. The main thing you need to remember here is this first word. All agility is always response to change. Always response to change. Agility is flexibility, response to change, able to adapt new things at any point of time. See, we are having a map between agility and cost of change. So here, the conventional wisdom, is the old traditional process, like waterfall models, spiral, what are things we saw in the previous chapter, the traditional process models. Those all comes under conventional process models. So is that the cost of change increases non-linearly as the project progress. So in the traditional model, the cost of change always increases non-linearly as the project progresses, right? It is relatively easy to accommodate a change when a team is gathering requirements early in the project. See, as I already told you, in the previous models, when you are giving the requirements, you will prepare a plan, right? If you are in initial stages of your software development, that is when you are in planning phase itself, then the customer comes and asks you to do some other change, to include some other change within the project. Then it will be easy for you to include all those changes. Why? Because you are still in planning phase only. You didn't go into the next phases. You are still in planning phase, so it will be easy for you to include all those phases. But if at all the customer comes and asks you to do a major change when you are in testing stage, testing in the sense you already completed designing, you already completed coding part, and finally you're testing whether the product is working according to the customer needs or not, right? When you're doing the testing, then the customer comes and asks you to do a major change. He asks you to do a major functionality change, right? That is a major change. Then what you need to do is, again you need to go back to the planning phase, and again you need to design all this stuff. So at that particular time, in order to make a change, definitely the cost of that change will increase to the maximum extent, right? If you are in initial stage, then the cost of change will be less. But if you are in the final stages of your product delivery, then if a change need to be made, then definitely the cost will increase randomly. So that is what we are saying here. It is relatively easy to accommodate a change when a team is gathering requirements early in the project. When you are in gathering requirement stage, then it is easy to make a change. If there are many changes, the cost of doing the work are minimum. So మన requirement gathering దగ్గర ఉన్నప్పుడు ఎన్ని changes చేయమన్నా, then definitely the cost of doing the work will be minimum. Why? Because we are still in a beginning stage, so I can make any number of changes. But if the middle of the validation testing, you are in testing stage, now a stakeholder is requesting you a major functional change. While you are in testing phase, now the stakeholder, now the client came to you and he's asking you to do a major functional change. He's asking you to do a change. Then the change requires a modifications to the architectural design, construction of new components, changes to other existing components, new testing, and so on. If you are asked to do a major change in the last stages, then what I need to do? Again, I need to change the complete architectural design. Again, I need to change the new components, construction of new components, new coding, changes to the existing components. Again, new test cases should be written. Again, new testing should be done. So all this should be done, right? Then definitely the cost will increase randomly. So this is what is done in conventional models, right? Now coming to agility, a well-designed agile process may flatten the cost of change curve by coupling incremental delivery with agile practices such as continuous unit testing and pair programming. But what we are saying here is, when it comes to agile, when a customer comes and asks you to do a change at any part of time, not only in the beginning or not only in the ending, at any part of the phases, then making the change by using agile process will take less cost when compared to the traditional cost. Why? Because in agility, you are always using short-term plans. You are always increasing the product within a short time. So you don't take years to release the product. You do a plan, short-term plans. Within 1 week or within 2 weeks, what should be done? You plan, you release the product to the client within 1 or 2 weeks, within very short time, right? Then in that phase, if the client comes and asks you to do some other change also, in next week you are going to do some other new increments, right? New things, right? You'll definitely able to include all those changes in the next week work. So agility always do unit testing, and also agility follows pair programming. Here pair program is, see, when you're doing coding, generally what happens in pair programming, two persons will be sitting right? When you're writing a coding part, one person will be writing the coding part, and the second person, your friend who is beside you, will always be checking what you're writing, what you're coding. So same time validation is done. You're writing some code, you're discussing with your friend, both of you has discussed, you're writing some code, and the person beside you is checking line by line at the same time when you're writing the code. So maybe you can change, and next your friend will be writing the code and you will be sitting and reviewing what the code he is writing, right? A friendly environment will be present. That is called as pair. Pair is nothing but two people, two programmers doing the work, right? If any errors are there, then definitely my friend will be able to identify that error while I'm coding only, right? So thus the team can accommodate changes late in the project without dramatic cost and time impact. So this is the graph here. So now see the graph between traditional models and agile process for cost of change. See here on x-axis we are having development schedule progress, and on the y-axis we are having the cost. So as the time goes on, how the cost varies. See here, a dark black color curve resembles the cost of change for conventional process. See, initially the cost is less, but as the time goes on, cost of change here, when the client is asking you to make a new changes, that is what we are looking the curve. Initially, when you are making the changes in the initial phase, the cost will be less. But when the time goes on, you are moving on to the next phases in the traditional models, right? When you are moving on to the next phases, and if then the client comes and asks you to make the change, then definitely the cost will increase randomly. So cost of change using conventional software process. So right now, when coming to agile process, see this curve, which is gray in color. This black color curve is for traditional models, and this gray color curve is for agile process. So in the agile process, even though the client comes and asks you to make some changes in the later phases of the development, then definitely the cost of doing the change will be less when compared to this traditional models. So that is what we are saying here. Cost of doing the changes in the agile process will be very much less when compared to the traditional models. So this is introduction for agility and the cost of change. Now coming to agile process. So agile process model refers to, so see here, now this agile process is not a new process models as we told in the previous, like spiral model, waterfall model. We don't have any agile process models, right? But what we have is, in the previous models, we are going to include the agile principles. We are going to include the agile guidelines, agile values. So the agile people gave us 4 values and 12 principles. These 4 values and these 12 principles can be included in all the 1 minute. So these 4 values and 12 principles will be included in any of the traditional models. Agile model refers to a software development approach based on iterative development, which I already told you. Agile method break fast tasks into small iterations, or parts do not directly involve long-term planning, which I already told you. We don't go for long-term planning, small iterations we always plan. The project scope and requirements are laid down at the beginning of the development process. Plans regarding the number of iterations, the duration and the scope of each iteration are clearly defined in advance. As we do in traditional thing, the plan will be done initially. How many number of iterations should be done? What is the scope of this project? All this will be planned initially. Agile process must be adaptable. This is what we are always repeating, adaptable to changes. As we are releasing the product within short term, then definitely we'll take the customer from the feedback and also always do the changes in the later versions. This is all the agile process tells us. So this agile process analysis, design, construction, and testing are not predictable. So what this agile process tells us is, initially while you're planning, analysis, design, construction, and testing are not predictable. Here what this means is, maybe the customer will ask you to change, right? We can't predict this in the beginning, right? These are all unpredictable and thus has to adapt as changes occur due to unpredictability, right? This is what you are saying. Yes, you plan for something, but the customer is asking you to come and change into a new way. This generally happens, and delivers multiple software increments, deliver an operational prototype or a portion of an operational system. Your operational prototype is your working software, complete working software, or a portion of an operational system, or some part of a working software, small increment of your software. Okay, you always deliver with that one with small increments to the client and collect customer feedback for adaptation. Always you give the small increments to the clients, take the feedback for him, and also include all these things in the next thing. So this is what the agile process tells us is. So agile, what it is going to tell us is, new changes may be included in the future. We can't predict all the things. So our process should be in such a way that we should be able to include all the unpredictable changes, all whatever the client is asking us. So we'll release the product in smaller increments to the client, and we'll take the feedback from him and do the necessary things accordingly. Now in this agile process, they gave us 12 principles. So always remember, agile process tells us 4 values and 12 principles. The 4 values we have seen in manifesto. The 4 values are, what they task us to value is, first value is individuals and interactions are more important. Second value is working software is more important. Third value is customer collaboration is more important. And fourth value is corresponding to change. These are the values or ethics the agile tells us, 4 values, and it gives us 12 principles. By including all these 12 principles in our process development models, we can achieve agility. That is what these 12 principles tells us. In this, the first principle is, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through a early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So this is the first principle of agility. What this tells us is, always the priority should be given to the customer, right? With continuous delivery of software, valuable software. So always customer is more important. I'll always give the customer the working software that is more important for me. That is the first principle. So this 12 principles are important in agile thing. You should learn all these 12 principles. And the second principle, what this agile tells us is, welcome change in requirements even late in the development. So what it is going to tell us is, always be open for changing requirements. So always welcome new change requirements, not only in initial development phases, but also in late development phases also. You should be able to include all the new changes. That is the second principle. And third principle is, deliver working software frequently. Don't give your project deadlines as years and years. Always give project deadlines as very minimum time. See, always deliver the working software frequently, for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference of shorter time scale. See, always the customer should be given some product, some working product, either in a week or within a month. Right? Don't go for long-term schedules at all. That is the working agility principle 3 tells us. And agility principle 4 tells us is, business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. See, don't say that developers, we are all technical people, so we are all some talented people, we are all of one group. And the client who is non-technical person, he is some other group. No, don't have this type of feeling. Always involve the business people and the stakeholders in your development process throughout the project. So as I already told you, don't go for contracts. Don't always see the contract with the client, but always involve that client while you're developing the project. That is the fourth principle tells us, business people and developers must work together. And fifth one is build projects around motivated individuals, give them the environment and support the need and trust them to get the job. So this is more important. This is generally which we always see in our real lives also. If someone comes and asks, motivate us in such a way that believes us that we can do that work, we are talented if we can do that work, then definitely we'll get motivated and we'll try to do it in a better way, right? Whereas if someone always pushes us, always gives us a negative feedback and always gives us some spoon feeding kinds of thing, so he always asks us to do this. If we are asked to do this, we should do this only. We can't take our own ideas in that environment. Then definitely we can't grow in that kind of environment, right? So what this agility tells us is always build projects around motivated individuals. All the team members that are present in your agile team will always be motivated. Always we believe that all these team members are experts by individual. Not only by a group they are expert, but also they are having very much expertise individually. So we should always be like a leader, but not a boss, right? So we know the difference between a boss and a leader. So boss, what he does is he always orders us to do this. If we are ordered by a boss to do this one, we should do that one. We can't go for in any other way. But whereas a leader, what he does is he gives us a motivation. He asks us to do it in a better way, right? He is giving us some opportunity to express our own ideas or some other thing. So all the team members should be motivated in such a way as the leader does, right? That is what we are saying here. Next, the cost-effective and the efficient method of conveying information to and within the development team is face-to-face conversation. Working software is primary measure of process. See here, while communicating, what we are saying here is we all should always have a communication between business people and developers. Everyone should be communicating all the time. That is what we told in fourth principle, right? In sixth principle, what we are saying is while communication, while conveying your information, always try to have face-to-face conversation. Don't always involve the third party members, or don't give your work to someone. Don't ask your PA to transfer this work to someone else. So while in intermediate, if you are involving some other intermediates in between, what generally happens is you are saying one thing and the data filters and transfers in some other way by the end, right? So you should not have any filters in between. So when will you have an effective information transferring is only if you are sitting face to face. We are sitting face to face, and if you are directly interacting, directly talking, then definitely our data will be conveyed as we are intended to, right? So that is what the sixth principle is telling. Always communicate by using face to face conversation. And what the seventh principle is telling is agile process promotes sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. They should be able to take any step, right? Don't not in a fixed way, constant pace indefinitely. So they should be able to take any step forward, not according to the plan. They should be they should have the authority or right to take any action forward, right, as per the changes are coming. Next, eighth principle is continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. Always have technically expert people in your team. That expertise can be either in programming, either the team members should have very much knowledge in programming, or they should have knowledge in planning or using the process models which you are using. So all the members should be who are present in the agile team should be experts, excellent skilled people. So and the good designs will help to improve the agility. Next, ninth principle is simplicity. Always maintain simplicity. See, right, when you are doing some work, when will we go for agility is when always new changes are coming. So when always new changes are coming, maybe the problem that you have solved today might not be useful for you for tomorrow. By tomorrow also the problem which you solved yesterday might not be useful. So that kind of changes might also occur. So right, when new changes are coming, try to identify all the changes which are important. When you're ready to do any kind of work, when you sit on a table and you're ready to do any kind of work, and people from different areas will come and ask you to do different kinds of things. Why? Because you're capable to do all those things. But you should be an expert who can analyze which work should be important, which change is more important, which thing is more important for this particular project. So, right, do all the important work, important things, and leave all the unimportant things. That is more essential in agility, right? Simplicity is more important. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Generally, if you don't do the work, generally we'll have a negative feedback, right? But whereas in agility, not doing a work is also an art. Why? Because you're not doing the work which is not useful, right? That you are able to analyze. So that we are saying here. And the 11th one is the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing team. See, right? So if you treat that every individual, every team member is an expert, then generally the best will come out from each person, right? If you have a self-organizing team, not a spoon-feeding team, not the project leader will not always come and ask the team members to do this one, to do that one, but they are all self-organizing. They're able to do all kinds of work. They're able to change the work they have done. They're having some sort of friendly nature. Then the best architecture will come out, the best designs will come out from them, best requirements they will be able to gather, best designs will come out from them if you are having self-organizing team. Don't say that that my project leader asked me to only design, so I'll only do the designing thing, I'll not code. Why? Because that work is not assigned for me. We will not have this type of environment in agility. In agility, all the team members will be in such a way that they'll be able to do all kinds of work. They'll be able to change their work when needed. Not only the design, if needed he'll perform coding, if needed he'll do some other documentation work. So all the members will have a friendly environment, right? At regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. So, right, at regular intervals, all the time, the team always finds new ways of becoming more effective, and always tune themselves to the new changes accordingly. So these are very important principles. Agile 12 principles, all these 12 principles are very important, students. So now what is agile? Agile is as a single word, it is ability to adapt changes rapidly, right? Flexibility to change itself rapidly. So now what we saw in today's class, we saw the introduction for agility, and we compared the traditional process models cost of change and the agile model cost of change. We finally concluded that making changes in traditional models will take more cost when compared to doing changes in the agile models, right? And next we started with agile process. We don't have any particular process model for agile, but what we have is we are having some principles, which these principles should be included in all the models, can be included in all the models to obtain agility, right? Now what are all those 12 principles is, the 12 principles are, the first priority should be customer. Always remember the customer. Changing requirements are important. Working software is important. Always effective communication between the business people and developers is important. Always have motivated individuals in your team. Always have face-to-face conversation with each other within the team or outside the team. Always have sustainable development or incremental development or thing. Next, continuous attention for technical excellence. Always have experts in your team. Always try to solve the problem in a simple way. Always have self-organizing teams. Then the best will come from out all of them. And always have at regular intervals. Always try to follow the new things. Get adapted or get tuned to the new things. These are the 12 principles. Agility tells us. And any doubts?